Hey everyone, welcome to episode 14 of Resonate, a ball jointed doll podcast. And today we have episode 14 for you, which is what type of BJD collector are you? So before we get into that, we always talk about our dolls, but yeah, let's share what you have brought today.
Am I starting?
Anyone? Who wants to go
Sure.
first?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I have. I'm sure like some of you already know her. Wait, hang on. Where's the camera? All right, there it is. Yeah, she got new eyes. Look. Okay, you can't really see it, but she got new eyes. It's the yellow like cat eyes from Jin Craft Stamp account.
Yeah,
I'm
Step Gem
sorry,
Craft.
I can't remember her name. It's hard. And I also, well, it's not really BJD, but I got this little fairy from Azon.
Oh,
Yeah, she's adorable with her like braids. I love these ones so much, even though they're like tiny.
They're really cute. I haven't seen the smaller A-Zone bodies. I know like Obitsu 11, but and the Nendoroid bodies, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with the smaller A-Zone.
Yeah, it's very articulated. I can tell you that much.
that is cool.
I will take you a photo after this. Now, can you just sit? She's light enough for like a minifee just holding on to her.
Is she gonna like sacrifice her after or something?
I hope not.
Like an
It's a
offering to
voodoo
the
doll.
god. Yeah, I know. She looks like I'm gonna cast spells and be all witchy. Here's my offering.
I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
cute.
size. It's like a doll's doll
Yeah.
size.
She dropped her shoes. Yeah. All right, someone else can go. I'm sorry.
Well, I brought my long soul doll girl.
Ooh,
She's the lion Elsa. She has big boobs.
got big, big. I was gonna be like, I got big boobs.
That's actually my friend
Damn,
my
that's
bottom.
actually like balloon size.
My friend that I got her from said that these are the smallest boobs that they offered. Like she
What,
thought it was a
really?
mistake when she bought it. She was like, "I got the smallest bust you guys had," and they were like, "That's the smallest one."
Wait, I'm sorry. What company
Really?
is this?
Long soul.
Oh,
They made her boobalicious.
okay. I
Yeah,
guess
they're
it's
not
like
that boobalicious anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they toned it down. She's kind of an older girl. She has the lion feet.
Oh, cute.
And I gave her some hands that don't match, that are Zoom hands, but she had these like big paw gloves that you can see in her in the site pictures
Oh.
of her that are like really cartoony, and I just didn't like them, so I switched her to some human hands.
I mean, the hands don't look that bad. They look like they match pretty well. But let's have the screen, anyways.
And I think she's a white resin. She's kind of yellowed over time, I'm pretty sure. So it kind of looks normal or creamy skin colored.
I think she still looks nice.
She's cute. Are those like cat ears or?
They're lion ears. She's
Okay,
supposed
yeah,
to be a lion girl.
lion. Duh. When you said that. Oh, that's cute. I like that.
She has a lion tail too, but I've been keeping it in a box.
Yeah, fragile parts.
Yeah, I
For
keep all
sure.
the tails away. Like I don't put it on them because it keep hitting things.
Then I brought him again just because he's cute.
Yeah, he is.
And he's still naked
So
though.
cute. So
Yeah, I'm
small.
thinking like we've had like 14 episodes already, and yeah, I mean like for some of us that's like our entire collection. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
gonna be
lot of
repeat.
dolls.
Yeah, more or
So
less.
yeah, because like I think I'm gonna start getting some doubles or something soon. So yeah, but today I actually brought my Mushi, and she's actually on the long soul body, and they definitely redid the bust because you can see her boobs are not boobalicious. They're definitely the small bust. I prefer the smaller bust, but I love this body. I think it poses really well. It stands really nicely, but unfortunately, I do think the resin yellows rather quickly
Oh,
because I showed you guys that picture where I was comparing the feet to her body, and there was definitely a distinct yellowness, but it wasn't like overly bad, but that's fine. I'm not so picky about it because I like to play with my dolls and I don't want to just keep them in like, you know,
in the closet.
dark closet. Yeah, or like to me, I don't want to say prison, but like, I know some people store their dolls like that, but for me, I like to play and have them out, and I have them in a cabinet, but they're not in direct sunlight, but they do get direct sunlight. I'm sorry, they're not in direct sunlight, but they get indirect sunlight just because I have a window, like obviously over
Yeah.
here, but it's behind glass, so I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I don't want to put them in boxes because I'll forget about them. But anyway, so her body is long soul, and her head is actually Flower and Junior. And
Oh,
let me see if I can bend her over.
She has
So
some cute eyes. I love her.
Yeah.
yeah, she's a Mushi, and Flower and Junior is a Chinese-based company as well. But her head is actually very yellow. It's a yellow, very yellow resin for yellow head resin. That sounds really weird. I'm not making it sound. I'm not selling it right now. So her head resin is white, but it tends to pull yellow. That's a better way of putting it. But the long sole white is pretty. I mean, I feel like it's almost glowing on camera with all my lighting, but it's definitely a very like milk glassy kind of white. But of course, it's yellowed a bit. So I'm not too bothered just because the head is yellower than
I
the
think
white.
you'll expect because this one, she's like 7 years old now.
Yeah, I think it's expected to. And Longsole, they have like they use the environmental resin or the French resin, and that just tends to yellow, which is sad, but whatever. I got the white, I got the one in pink color too, a body, because I really love the body, and eventually one day I'll film a video about it. But the pink body, well, I can do a comparison when it arrives. But yeah, I hope it doesn't yellow as quickly. Bless you, Avari.
Yeah, bless you from afar.
I had to quickly mute myself so I don't like sneeze into the mic.
So I guess like when I mentioned like, it's how for me I like to play with my dolls and not like, put them in boxes and stuff. That actually is a nice segue into the topic of today, which would be, what type of collector are you? And this is kind of like a small little mini tag, I guess you could call it that. So we'll just talk about it. And if you guys would like to film a video about it, definitely join our Discord, share it with us, because I definitely love to watch any videos that people put out, especially if you're doing like a little tag that, we created. So oh, and before I go on, I would like to say that this episode was brought to you by our BJD Discord, who suggested like what type of collectors we were. So we do take your feedback into consideration. But yeah,
Yes,
so
join us on Discord.
yeah, we'll do it right now. We'll front load that. So, but if you have suggestions or stuff you'd like to see, discussions that we do have on this Discord, they do turn into episodes. So yeah, I figured why not, right? So first question is size exclusive collectors. Do you prefer multiple sizes or just one?
I used to be one of those that like only collect like MSD size, the 1/4 size, because I'm like, you know what, it looks like a nice perfect size, right? But then I ventured into like 1/6, the smaller one, and now you can say I have like a tiny ass doll. It's like I have another one that's like that big. I think she's like 7 centimeters. I don't know. I'm not that great at it.
So little.
Yeah, she is tiny. This is her next to my hand, and my
Wow.
hand is hella short.
Can you bring her closer to the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
What doll is that? I've never seen that.
She's
Or
from
maybe I
Cocoon
don't
Doll.
remember. Mm.
Like you can get her. This is customized. You can get her customized for like $10 extra. It's not much. She's not much like to begin with, anyways. I really liked her.
Cool. And what about you, Nova? Sizes? I already kind of know the answer to that, but
I mean, I mostly do stick to MSD, but I have strayed off to a couple USD for the pets and stuff if they count.
I think
I
it
do have
counts.
one. I have 2 USD human dolls though that aren't pets.
Which one's that?
I have a Soom, Finny, Nancy, like a fox, and then I
Oh,
have
the
that little
fox.
like Dream High Angel dude, little tiny baby.
Oh yeah. I think you talked about that a while ago. I remember something mentioned that company.
Yeah.
that's cool. You also have the big wolf, right? The bigger
Yeah,
wolf.
I sort of consider that like my only SD at the moment. I mean, I wonder if that is technically an SD, but yeah, I have the Kartos wolf. He's
Very
awesome.
cool.
I want to
Yeah,
get
but that's
one.
like your limit, right?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Avari? Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I just say that I want to get the Cuarto. I don't know how to say the name, but the
I'm
wolf.
sure I'm not saying it right.
I want the big wolf one day.
Oh, you should consider it. Yeah, I think they do a good layaway too. Like she worked with me for it was about 9 months. Like it was a definitely long layaway.
That's actually that's pretty long. 9 months. That's not bad. I'm gonna sell some dolls though for to just fund her because I feel like I have way too many now, and it's at that point where I just want to
Time
purge.
to purge. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting to that point too where I'm like, no, it's time to cull the herd. But I totally understand. For me, I really like mini dolls. It's weird because when I first started in the hobby, I was like, F mini dolls. Why would anyone want them? They feel like toys, whatever. And then, here I am today. I'm like, oh, only minis, only minis. And then all of a sudden I have like a handful of SD dolls. I'm like, oh, crap, crap, crap. But I don't really want to get rid of them because I really like the sculpts a lot. I haven't brought on those dolls because they're like naked all the time and I need to get them clothes and I never get around to working on them because I do not like sewing for 1/3. That's one thing I found out. I really like sewing for 1/4. It's my favorite scale, but 1/3, it's just too much fabric, too much not
Oh,
fun
too
going
much
on.
fabric.
Yeah,
I was
it
gonna
is. It's
ask.
like
I'm like, what's the difference between 1/3 and 1/4, except for like just the scale?
yeah, it's weird because like when you sew, I like to have everything on a tabletop surface, and when you start cutting out 1/3 pieces, they start getting really big that you have to like start spreading more table area. And that's why I don't really sew for myself, which I want to, but it's just hard to cut fabric for big things when you don't have a dedicated like fabric cutting table. So one thing that I've eyed when we weren't in pandemic was like during my lunch break, the conference rooms had like amazing like like conference table surfaces that would be perfect for like cutting fabric. I'm like, but pandemic hit. But it's just not pleasant cutting on the floor. But when I do make 1/3 clothes, it's just I don't know. Like even the skirt pieces start getting really really big, and I think that's when you start seeing more of the cost hit, like in
Yeah.
terms of like cost of fabric, right? And it feels like it's a lot more expensive too. Whereas like with Blythe, it's 1/6. You can get away with quarter cuts of fabric, quarter cut of a yard of fabric, and then with minis, I can get away with that too for like tops as well. But like with skirts, it's 1/3. But once you start hitting astig, it's like to 1/2 to like 3/4, and I'm like, oh, it's expensive. So, but yeah, excuse me, I got the allergy thing going on with the weather changing
Oh yeah.
here in Houston. But I really like mini dolls. But because of you guys tainting my purity, um, I'm now buying little crappy pet dolls. So they're not crappy. I like them, but it's just like, ugh, I didn't need like another thing, right? I'm like, it was minis, and the SDs kind of snuck in, and now I'm like, "Ah,
It's
damn
like a
it, now
new
I got
rabbit hole.
Yep.
yeah." And I'm like, I got too many rabbit holes, so it's like, ah. So we try to keep it mini in the house, but I think like I don't know if I really like certain SD dolls, then I might bring them home. But I think I'm a lot more pickier about them. More pickier. I'm pickier about them. But like recently, I bought the Lily Cat Alana's because to me, Alana is like iconic Lily Cat, and I really like her sculpt. Hopefully, she'll do a pre-order for the quarter size scale Alana, and I'll get her too. But when I saw her like big ones, I'm like, I like them. I mean, they're absolutely wonderful. So I don't know. It's hard. Like I'm really trying to like be strict about it because like Avari, I'm getting to a point where I feel slightly overwhelmed and I might be like, okay, it's time to do a purge soon. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
see how
definitely
that
one of
goes.
those that just like once you reach a certain amount, you just like, God, I have to sell something. I just can't cut. Like it's not like you do actively do a lot of things with them. They just kind of sit there looking pretty, but you just like, I'm overwhelmed just looking at you. I'm gonna sell you though.
Yeah, and I don't obviously I don't think we fit into this little bucket, but I'm always envious of the collectors who are like, I only have one doll. I'm more than
Oh yeah.
happy with my one doll. Like I'm like, I wish I could be I really do. I want to be like you.
If only.
Yeah, Sam. I used to follow this collector who has like only one doll. That's like a 1/6 rabbit doll. But like 1/6 of like those Dog Chateau one with the super long legs. Uh, her entire feed was just on that one doll. I think it was really pretty. Everything she does was just surrounding that one doll. I'm like, I'm so jealous of you. I want to be like you. I can't do it though.
Yeah, there's too many like different sculpts and
Yeah.
temptations. I feel that I can't just commit to like one doll. I wish I could because then you could spoil said one doll,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I really do admire people who are like, I just have you and you're all I need. Kind of like that girl who I don't know if she has more than one doll, but the girl who does the mini me and the dress up, the Japanese girl.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Does she only have one doll?
I think so. I don't recall seeing anybody else in her photos.
It looks like
Yeah.
the same doll for most of the pictures,
Yeah, it
as
looks
far as I
like
can
it.
tell.
Isn't Angelophilia too? So I'm like, I love him.
Exactly, right? So, yeah, maybe one day, but until now, I'm like, even with Blythes, I wish I had like one Blythe, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, yeah, okay, that worked out well. So, okay, so are we a brand exclusive collector or are we a diverse doll collecting group? And do you prefer multiple brands?
I prefer multiple, yeah. I feel
Same
like,
here. I prefer multiple.
yeah, I feel I do want like kind of the same aesthetic in one in my collection, because mini fee and say like um FID, if I'm saying it right. I don't know, like JID. I don't really remember their brand. Raccoon Doll, something like that. They
Apple
obviously
House.
look, yeah, Apple House. Thank you. They obviously have very
We're like that.
Kitty photo bomb.
very different aesthetic, right? So I don't want to get those and like I'm so distracted.
Her
That's
spot's on top of
our
my desk, so she likes to go up there, or on top of my
Oh,
computer. She sits like on my tower.
that's adorable. Yeah,
Sorry for the
I just
distraction.
want the same aesthetic. That's all I was saying.
The JIDs go really good with the minifees. I have one, and I have one coming on the
Oh, really?
way. Yeah, that are both the boy ones. The girls are a little bit
Oh,
like massive compared to the minifee girls,
yeah.
but the boys kind of look alright.
Yeah, I think the guys look okay, but the girls of JID and like mini fees next to each other is just kind of I don't know. It makes mini fees very comical looking.
When I first got into the hobby, I had bought my boy Wusu, and then I had
Oh,
gotten an Eiffel House JIDI, and I was gonna like have them be a pair, but she was just like a behemoth giant next to him. I was like, this isn't gonna work.
yep.
Yeah, and I think some of the realism, like some sculpts are like a lot more realistic, and that like I guess depending on if you compare like some dolls like minifigs or even my dim dolls, they look like eggheads compared to like the really realistic dolls, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not going to work.
Oh
But if
no.
you're just like a solo photo taker, then yeah, okay, you can stay. But it's
Yeah.
I think if you do the pairing in the photos, it tends to look a little bit off. But like, hey, if it floats your boat, that's cool too.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's hard to pull off.
it is hard. Like my lily cat, she's just kind of there, and I'm like, how am I ever gonna take photo of you with everyone else? Because she looks
Yes,
so different. She's
she's a standalone
comical. Yeah,
girl.
she's comical, but in a different way. And I'm just like, what do I do with you?
Yeah, it's tricky, and, like, I like multiple brands as well too. I think we have a pretty good, like, diverse selection of dolls, and even, like, to this day, when you guys bring dolls, I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't even realize you owned that doll." You know, it's like, "Oh, what do you think of that company?" So, yeah, I definitely agree, and I think it kinda happens because, like, doll companies tend to evolve
Mhm.
to some degree, or they stay the same. And whether or not your aesthetic changes, then it's like, will I want to be loyal to you still, or am I going to hop around, right? Like with Doll Chateau, I would say I really liked their aesthetic early on, but they just continued like everything that they made that I liked.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything that they've released since just haven't really been on target for me. So then we've been looking at companies like Dream Valley and I think Doll Zone with their Zero Doll. It's just like, okay, let me look around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is really cool to see the people that have the collections of like all the same company though. That's always pretty neat to see.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing that's keeping me away from like being loyal to only Dream Valley is that Dream Valley came to the scenes too late. I already have everyone else here, so I'm just kind of like, should I sell everyone and just reshape them into like Dream Valley dolls? So I'm
No,
kind of
I
obsessed
don't
with
think
that
so.
company.
No, I don't think so because I felt like their facial sculpting hasn't, at least for me, hasn't been on point until more recently. Because I feel
Yeah,
like
for
their older
sure.
dolls, I'm like their faces. I'm like, I want the body, but does anybody want the head, right? And like nobody wants to buy it because I see a bunch of them floating around in attics, and like people are like,
Yeah.
hey, I want the body, but I don't want the head.
What the hell?
Right? Like even with like the remember the winged body that came up for sale.
Oh yeah.
Like we're all looking at it, we're like, hey, we all want the body, but like she didn't have a head with it, but like it came with the doll,
Mhm.
right? And it's like, "Oh, no, I don't want that."
Yeah, for sure. Like the old dolls, they kind of like egghead, like really egghead. And I'm like, I don't know why. I have one of the old sculpt. Like I'm looking at her right now, but she doesn't look that bad compared to like the older ones, the other old ones.
Definitely. And I feel like I feel like they're sculpting in the face because like I got the skeletal mermaid, like Nieros, I guess that's how you say it. She's the one with that kind of like half closed eyes. I feel like they've definitely become a little bit more, I guess, lighter on the touch, right? A little bit more
Yeah,
refined with the features. And before it was kind of like it reminds me of actually old school doll zone, the
a
really
little bit.
old doll
Yeah,
aesthetic, right?
it is kind of the same. Yeah, except
So,
like the chin a lot pointier. Because I used
mhm.
to have the old dolls on too, but the old ones is more round compared to the Dream Valley ones. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, 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 you're fine, you're fine. Um, I was like clearing my throat because it's allergy season down in the south. Always, it's always. But so I guess like that's a great question to go into. Are you fantasy doll collectors or normal doll collectors? I'm like, I feel like that's so Captain Obvious.
Yeah, I think the answer is pretty obvious. Like with who we're bringing today. Like
Mine's
this girl is obviously a fantasy. I like fantasy dolls, like
I
the
think I
more
only have
unique
like
ones.
2 actual human dolls.
I got her.
oh, he caught her. I
Oh
was like,
man.
oh. Yeah, and I know that when the fairyland. I was like fairy line. Dolls come out. You guys are like, oh my god,
Every time.
Every time,
frenzy.
yeah.
If it's no if there's no fantasy parts, who cares?
Yeah, for real, like I'm only into Fairyland because of how interchangeable the parts are. So if they don't offer the parts, I don't care about the new release.
Well, it's not as urgent because I mean the normal dolls you can always get them on the a la carte
Yeah,
system as well. So it almost seems like the limited thing is the fantasy parts that they come out with or the heads.
yeah. Like I like how interchangeable things are. These are not Fairyland, by the way. These are like ears from a Chinese company. This is the Fairyland things I got from the Luha.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, I really like these ears. It just looks nice.
Which one's your favorite?
Favorite
Like
parts?
out of the two sets of ears?
Yeah, I see. I don't know. I like this one. I like how it look. It goes way with her aesthetic, but I also like the dark ears because I wish she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she looks cute with either.
I know. I'm like, can you just pick one?
She can
Depends on
change.
her mood. She can have the
Exactly.
spiky ears when she's mad.
So I guess for me, funny how it also works out. But when I first started collecting, I didn't understand why anybody would ever want a fantasy doll. It was just not my jam at all. Like I was like, why do people want weird resin colors or like fantasy resin colors? I'm like, why? Like that's just weird. Like why would anybody want to do that? I collected like pretty much just humans, and now clearly like I don't want just humans. Like I like weird colored resins. Weird. I say weird loosely because I order them, um, loosely said. But yeah, it's just like now, and I'm like, oh, they have vampire teeth. Okay, let's just throw a vampire in there, or anything that's weird or unusual. I'm like, okay, I like this. But back in the day, like my collection was pretty, I guess, vanilla in terms of like just being humans only. I'm like, I don't want to breach, different species or races or I guess like races like in Dungeons and Dragons kind of
Yeah,
thing,
Like
right?
elves and
Like
stuff.
elves, yeah. So now like I actually don't think I have an elf. I'm looking.
you should get
I have
one.
vampires, but I don't have
You should get
elves.
an elf.
I have a
So
vampire
FYI.
elf and a vampire.
yeah, I need a I would like to get an I have a doll with elf like ears, but they're like small ears, not like big elf
um,
ears. But I don't know
I don't think I
I
have
don't know what
any elf.
elf. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if there's like a sculpt that's elf-like that I would like. I guess maybe the Supia dolls. I like the interchangeable elf ears that they have on, but they're SD size, and I'm like, nope.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
tempted though. I'm always tempted by the Supia doll.
I
You worried about
know.
like elf ears that you can take on and off? I would lose those so fast.
Oh, people did totally.
I would. I definitely would.
Good thing they sell it separately. That's how you
Yeah, and you
actually
can buy
make money.
replacements, right? You bank on your customers losing them.
Yep.
But yeah, I love the elf ear options. And I think it's kind of cool because I feel like you could like sculpt your own too. If you like, a lot of them are like kind of like slots that you put in on the
Mhm.
side, and then afterwards, like you put the head cap on. So at least when I had like a doll that had interchangeable ears, like early on, I had a Serendipity Charmin, and she had interchangeable ears too. I don't know if the
Ooh.
technology is the same, but it probably is very similar. But I remember like you'd see posts and they're like, "Oh, she doesn't have these ears because I lost them," or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
yeah, like yeah, it's just like now I venture out. I love various colored resins. I love the fantasy dolls. I also like human dolls. So pretty much I'm down with whatever as long as I like the doll.
I got
I think this
monsters now.
episode is going to be like, how many cats does Nova have?
Yeah, I know, right? Every time there's a new cat on the screen.
They want to be internet famous.
Aw.
I should start making I can has cheeseburger memes of him.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's Manches again. He was in the last video.
So
It's my
pretty.
black kitty.
I love Black Kitty.
He's not fully black. Look at this.
Just
Aw.
that
Got a
one
white tip
spot.
tail. Yeah, just right on the tip of his tail.
Is that the only spot?
Yeah,
Aw.
he's an adorable kitty. All right, buddy, you're still in the show.
He's like, yeah, I'm here. So he can contribute to our discussion as well too. So are you guys full set collectors or fully customized? And I guess that can be interpreted a variety of ways.
I feel I have
If
to
you guys are
think about
looking, I'm
that.
looking too. I'm like, ooh.
This one is actually a full set.
Oh,
Yay!
she is.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I haven't changed her clothes for a while because I'm like, man, she's cute in the full set.
she's cute, but like honestly, I low key feel like her shirt just gonna be
Yeah,
falling
it just doesn't work for her. I need to get her like a nice sweater going. Cozy
Yeah.
sweater time.
Yeah, she's flashing people. That's her mood. But what about you, Avari? Are you a full set kind of person?
I'll say no. I like some part of the full set, but I have never actually seen a set that I like so much I buy the entire thing. Minifee Rents. That one was pretty close to what I wanted, like as a full set. But I ended up did not buy it for the wings or the wigs. The Rents wig is really weird. Like you can see how bad it is on the photo. So
Just has like bald spots.
yeah, everywhere. Like I'm not even kidding. Like the parting light is just bad.
The harpy feet for her were really cool though.
Yeah, I have that one. I love it.
Yeah, Skaith has those too. She said that it makes her doll like super tall compared to the other mini fees.
Yeah, because her talent is like that big.
Wow.
I should bring her on the podcast one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
I should.
Bring her next to like this mini fee so we can see how tall she is.
Oh, this one has like the rabbit feet on her.
Which I don't know if they make her too much taller. I think they make them a little taller than normal.
Rabbit feet.
Rabbit feet are awesome.
Yeah,
Bun
they
bun.
are. I don't.
She's
think-
actually a wolf though, guys. Those are wolf feet.
Yep, that's wolf. Who says rabbit?
Don't let her hear.
Yeah, I don't think the rabbit feet legs actually that that much taller than the normal ones. But I know the harpy legs for sure are really long. Can you hold, please? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I collect full set. Everyone here has their own like customized face up.
I'm trying to look at mine too, and it's weird because I think my taste has kind of changed as well too. Early on, I did like the full setness of things, but looking back on it, like I never actually played or used most of the full set pieces or parts. And I know, like for instance, my two-faced girl who I'll bring on the show one day, once I finish her outfit one day. I've been saying that for like the past year. But she's the Dolly's May, and I really freaking hate her for a full set. It's so ugly and horrible. It's awful. And people are mad that I say it's awful on YouTube because they downvote me on that video. But I'm like, I don't care. It's ugly and it's awful. And you guys include it because you don't sell it separately because you know you can ask this amount of price by saying it's a full set, full makeup doll. And I'm like, I hate the full set. And even if it was like $30 off, which I don't think they price it at that, like I would pay $30 less because I do not like it. Like I do not like it and I don't want it, but I have it. It's in a box. But
He's trying to get my microphone.
Oh yeah, I can see it's like,
Oh my
He's
god.
like, "Hey, can I grab that?"
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm not big on the full sets, and it of course adds to the price. Oh,
That's
oh
a
wow.
bargain on Rainbow.
Censor.
She's back from her spot on the
I know she pulled
tower.
Sansa there.
It's gonna get us like a ban from YouTube.
Rainbow,
So
don't! Oh gosh, catastrophe over here.
Today episode
it
is just on
happens.
cat invasion.
It's just a chill episode. I think it's been a busy week for all of us, so it's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like it's all good. So, are you an OC collector or just buying what you like?
A little bit of both. Like if I like it, if I really like a sculpt and I don't have like a character for it, I'll just make one based on that sculpt because just justify buying it, which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I should stop doing that.
Oh man, I started with original characters, but like it seems like the last year I was just sort of getting stuff because it was cool.
Yeah, so
So I
many new
impulse
cool
bought a couple
dolls.
things.
Right?
Do those dolls tend to stay around, Nova, that you impulse buy, or do you let them go down the road? Like, do you have previous experience with that, or?
I have let an impulse buy go that I ended up selling because I was like, oh well, this wasn't as cute as I thought. Which was the little Zoom fox, like the little petite Jim fox.
Oh,
I really
yeah,
liked him
that's
in the
cute.
pictures, but then when I got him, I was like, I don't know. I like the kitties better.
Right? Like I feel like Foxy, like Zoom Foxy, is very like different when you actually have it in person.
It kind of looks anime like stylized a little
Yeah.
bit to me.
I mean, they kind of all are since like
Yeah.
they're like that big, but they're still cute. I want an Odin. I still want an Odin. I can't justify buying it for $300
Oh man.
Next pre-order.
Yeah, they always do one eventually. Hold out.
I am not an OC collector. I don't have any characters. I have nothing. I just buy what I like. So that works pretty well because I feel like if maybe I had like um, an OC like limit to myself, like you can only buy OCs, then I think that would help me not be so impulsive or stick to the agenda.
It
But
helped me for
now,
a while.
yeah, I feel like it keeps you on track. But I'm like, I just buy what I like.
Do you give them names? Like once you get them and stuff?
I do. I actually do name my dolls, and they take me a while to name because for me, it's like I don't know. I think that's like the hardest part,
Oh yeah.
weirdly enough. Yeah. So I've named a handful. I'm looking at my cabinet over there, and yeah, I think a handful have names, but equally just as many do not have names because I haven't thought of a perfect name for them yet. So we're still thinking about that. But the ones that I do have, like I think I showed my Lydia on the last episode where she had eyes and the crazy like yellow wig. I named her Artemis, so that was one. I actually name all
Really?
my blinds too. Yeah, I'm trying to think, but it takes time. And my favorite one of my favorite dolls, my dim Leia with the half closed eyes. Her name is Linnea, so she has a name. But the others, that's when I also feel like I know it's time to sell a doll. Is that I haven't named you in like 5 years. I'm like, I think it's time for you to go.
You're not even gonna
It's
tell me
time
your
to
name,
go.
really? After
Yeah,
5 years?
yeah, or something, right? Like, I think I had some dolls for like 3 years or so, and I'm like, they're pretty. I like them. I had like a Peaks Woods SD doll.
Those are pretty.
But yeah, they're really pretty. But I just didn't feel inspired or super, excuse me, super bonded with her. She was a Tristan, and I thought she was gorgeous, and she came in the tan color. But I didn't do anything with her. So, I love their dolls. I love looking at what they do. But for me, when I had it, I was like, it just didn't inspire me at all. So I sent her to somebody else who loves her, and that was great. It worked out well in
Yeah.
the end. So
I feel like Pixwood for me is like one of those company that has very pretty company photos for the dolls, but I haven't seen any owner photo or owner style that I actually like from that company. It seems a little uninspiring. I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. It seems a little
yeah,
uninspiring once you actually
and
get them.
right, right, and I think it's mixed because a lot of people really like how Peakswoods looks in photos. Like they want the face up by Peakswoods, and it's uncommon. I think very very rare to find a doll that does not have a Peakswood face up that is by
Yeah.
Peaks Woods. Like usually they always have the company face up or a variation of it. And I know Fairyland does like the defaults for like the sets, and you can't really opt out of that. But at the same time, like you have a lot of people who wipe them, and you also have people who do their own custom face ups on,
Mhm.
Fairyland dolls. So I think that it gives you a better idea of like the range that the doll could be. But
Yeah.
with Peaks Woods, I just felt like they were dolls that if you liked having a nice complete full set doll and you just kept them in a doll cabinet, you didn't play around with them, then maybe that was like that's how I felt about it. And I'm again, if your experience is different, then that's totally valid too. But it didn't inspire me to create or make anything new. And I think that's why when it comes to like dolls that are either full sets or whatever, I feel like I'm limited with what I can do with them. I don't
Yeah,
know, that's
that's
just
totally
me.
fair. That's actually what's stopping me from buying the Dolly's May 2, the two face girl. I really want her, but I don't like the face up or the full set.
Yeah, it's trash. I'm, like, so salty about it, because she's like I got her on sale through Christina, but, like, even on sale, like, the retail price is $599 full
Oh
set,
yeah, it's
and
a lot.
it's expensive, yeah, and, like, it's really well designed. I'll bring her next time, I'll try to remember. See. I always say, "Let me not make lofty promises," but, like, she's really well designed, and her face up is actually really pretty. I really like her face up. It's unusual, um, but it's just everything I don't know, everything else about the full set is
Yeah,
bleh.
it's just.
But I actually do think it's cool because of her two faces.
Mhm.
I really do like the face up a lot, and I think it suits her really well. But I feel like you can get some good like ghost stories out of that, or
Yeah.
you can get some kind of theme. Because I was gonna make her like a medieval doll, with like medieval inspired clothing. I tried to sew medieval like period clothing, but I struggled hard. I ended up cheating and making medieval looking clothes by using like modern day patterns to fit in like the sleeve. But I was gonna make her some kind of like maybe this is like some character design here, but I actually named her. Her name is Theodora, but
Adorable.
she's gonna be kind of like a queen, right? Like some kind of queen. And I was like, she would have weapons. She would have medieval, like not necessarily armor, but she would have her. If I did want to do armor, she would have armor. But then she would also have like her like court clothes. But she would also carry like swords and stuff. So I figured that would be. So if that's the inspiration with her was like her full set's trash, yes. But I can create what I think like maybe she was like a queen who was like cursed, or she went on like I don't know. See, I don't plan all these things out, but they're just ideas that get me to the inspiration of like creating clothes or wigs or
I think that's what
accessories.
started me making characters. Is like I
Yeah.
started thinking, oh, she would be cool if she did this, and oh, this is a good backstory, and oh, I like to add this, and these guys look like they could
Yeah.
be siblings.
They all start out with ideas, and then in the blink of an eye, you can see you all like $20 characters.
Yeah, and I know we talked about like so this will be a future episode about like character development and all that, but like I'm interested in it, but I don't know if I can fully commit to it. But also I've never played D&D before. I print out a lot of stuff for, my boyfriend who is a DM and he loves D&D. I have never played. I I mean, I read a lot of books and stuff, and I love playing games, but I never role played. I never did anything like that. So for me, like, I
Fun,
don't
but it
have,
takes a long time to get through like a campaign usually.
Yeah.
yeah,
My last
and they
campaign
usually like
lasts
kind
like
of
a
die
year.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After actually finishing. So that's what I've noticed with his games. But it's hard to coordinate a bunch of adults to get together and play a game for like 5 hours. So, but yeah, for me, so I've never done any of that. That's why like the OC connection's not there for me. I just buy what I like, and I always love seeing what people do. They have like so deep and rich stories, and I'm like, wow, that's so creative. But for me, I'm like, I just buy what I like, and I'm like, oh, this might be cool if I have like weapons because she might be a cursed queen, but like that's the extent of it. Like, and she has a name, but like maybe with her, I'll have more of a background story. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Bring her next time.
A couple of my characters too were made just out of messing around with like the avatar makers in games. And then I'm just like, oh man, I really love the way this turned out. It needs to be a doll.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Really? Like Avatar making?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like,
It's so
yeah,
fun
like
to mess around with it.
Ficrus that is like a whole rabbit hole that I just cannot get out of. I visit it like every day. I'm like
Oh.
obsessed.
Yeah, I feel like that would be dangerous because I feel like that would probably enable me on some degree to do
Oh yeah,
something.
definitely. Yep.
I tend to collect female dolls. I tried with boy dolls. I just can't. Like I want one that would just work perfectly, and I just no, I just can't.
Yeah, no, I know how that feels. Like my collections is just girls.
I have more boys than girls.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
really?
Nova's anomaly
I
here.
wouldn't say that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like the guys don't really fit in with the collection. I used to have one male doll, but I sold it like within a day because I'm like immediately like disconnect from the doll the moment I opened the box. I was like, all right, you going for sale.
Who was
Goodbye.
it?
It was a 5-star doll, like one of those with like the horns coming out. I don't remember his name. Feels bad.
It's
He wasn't
okay. It
even
didn't click.
memorable.
It didn't work
It didn't
out.
click
So
immediately.
yeah, pretty much. And I've tried. Like I remember early on, when I was collecting like custom house dolls, I collected a bunch. I had owned a bunch of their SD boys, but I've almost always sold them immediately. I was just like, I don't know. For me, I like to sew and create things, but I always feel like sewing men's clothing is just not that fun. I don't know. I think like streetwear might be fun to sew, but I don't know. It's just never was like, "Oh, I really wanna sew for boy dolls." I'm like, "Nope, not interested." It
Yeah,
didn't even bl it's not even on my radar.
it's just not there
Yeah.
for me either. I'm like, I will buy like boys' clothes for my dolls, for my female dolls, but I wouldn't get a male doll. I don't know why. It's just not. It's just not clicking. It's not
See, for me,
clicking
it's
for
harder
me.
to style the girl ones. I haven't had a girl one that I liked in a long time, other than like
Oh
the
really?
Do Doll Dreams girl that's coming out. I really like her, but yeah, I have two like OCs that are girls that I just have not been able to shell at all yet.
Ooh.
Interesting. So I guess with the boys that you have, are they all OC,
Yeah, most of
characters?
them.
Oh,
There's
OC.
two that are just kind of floating around waiting because they were like I reshelled the character, but I still liked them, so I haven't figured out where they fit in yet. So I have two random ones, but yeah, all the others are OCs.
That's
Okay,
nice.
that's cool. Yeah, I wish I could do the boys, but I'm just like, I just can't 'cause you see some collectors who only have boys, they have, like, a
Oh
harem of
yeah.
men, and but, like, I'm just like, "Nope." I'm like, "Pretty
I
much we're
marvel
all."
at those collections of like the fancy Soon boys though. Those are nice. I'm
Mm.
like, dang, that's a cool collection. I could never own that type, but I do like to marvel at them.
Yeah, like Flower, she has a bunch of really pretty, like, she collects the Hanfu too, like,
Oh yeah.
and she keeps all her dolls, like, perfectly clean, like, clean in a closet in the dark, and then she does, like, the dioramas and the photos, but, like, she has, like, the Soom dolls, and they're all, like, the big, beautiful, like, male dolls that are gorgeous, and I was like, "Wow," like, I would feel so overwhelmed
I once
buying
had a
Yeah.
Soon Mega Gym. He was like the faunalist, like the lion or tiger dude, and he was just so big. Like my mini feet came up to his knee. I was like, this guy is
Wow.
too big for me.
Wow, that's
That's
He's
a
huge.
yeah.
big.
That's a big doll. What the shit?
I was like, I just can't do dolls this big. I will break them on accident somehow. I
Yeah.
love
That's a
looking
lot
at
of
them though.
that's a lot
Yeah,
of resin.
it's hard to get them to stand. Like just with the weight of the doll, they like to just kind of sit.
Yeah.
I think she said that the Zoom bodies are not great because they just kinda like to lay down and sleep. They're not meant to be standers, so, yeah, I feel like that's tricky too, like and they have to be, like, probably really well designed and engineered or, like, suede or something so that they just don't go, like limp ragdoll on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
My
that's frustrating. Mhm,
Yeah, I
Avari?
know. Like my SD doll experience has been abysmal. Because the first SD dolls I got was Fairyland Angela, the F65 one. She was old. She was on the old body. She was tall. She was about almost half of me. I'm very short, but but yeah, like she was fun to play with. But I cannot pose her at all because I was afraid I will break her, which I did.
Oh
Not
man.
like break her, but like part of her ankle fell out because like she fell down from the couch, and I'm like, how are you less sturdy than the minifee? I I don't know. So yeah, like I sold that one, and then the second one I got was the Maoyo from what's the name? That
Miracle
company.
Doll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Miracle
that
Doll.
one. Yeah, that I complain about all the time.
Oh, she's a good kitty.
She's I'm sure she is. It's just she's not my type, I guess, because I don't like how she's. It's very hard to pose her.
Yeah, I had that experience with SDs too. It did feel like they were a lot harder to pose.
Yeah, they just gotta sit there. I am too afraid to touch them.
Yeah, I have my Pathos Tail and Misheng, and she's so heavy. She's like one of the heaviest dolls I own, and being being like a smaller SD doll, that's shocking to me because she weighs so much. I have to like weigh my dolls one day, but I was just really astounded by how heavy she was. But her posing and her legs is just horrendous. And it kind of kills like the enjoyment I have of a doll when they're just a nightmare to deal with, right? And I have stands like even with her, like I put her she doesn't really need to stand so much, but I like having stands just so that they don't
Just in
face
case.
plant. Right. But I need to order more stands for my SD size dolls, and I feel like that reinforces them a little bit more, but when they just pose and just go spaghetti on me, it really kills the enjoyment I have for the doll. And surprisingly, I thought my doll Chateau Evangeline would be a total nightmare when it came to posing, but she actually poses pretty well compared to the other doll Chateau dolls that just pose for crap, or just kind of collapse. Even with like I think the K11 body, it's the really skinny like torso one that I currently have my Agatha on. Barbara came on it. Lydia came with it.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of the bodies that they typically use now. I like the K0 one a lot better. It's a lot sturdier. But that body, like, ugh, it's so annoying. Like her arms are like this, like they just like move like that, and I'm like, can you like not? Can you just like rest like naturally? And she's like, and her fingers
Just
are
to, like
like just
slap you.
laid, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a thing. And it's because I think like I need to restring it, like because Amari like restrings nearly everything she has, which I hate restringing, so that probably won't
Yeah.
happen. We'll see. But and also her little jointed fingers, like it's just all just so annoying
I
to
don't
deal with.
restring those. I give up.
I
I
feel like
don't
those are
do
too
that.
difficult.
One time I had to restring like the bottom half of a fairyline body, like the butt and the legs. It took me like 3 hours of my life that I wanted back right after I was done.
Oh, and I think you were stringing like your little wolf doll or something.
Oh
That
yeah,
took
that
a
took a
while
long
too.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took me like most of a day.
Yeah.
Restringing is not fun. If you're gonna be paying someone to restring your dolls, especially like the really big or really small ones, make sure you pay them well because holy shit, that's like a whole day of work.
It takes me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the tension and everything too, because if you do it wrong, you gotta take it apart, and I'm like, no. So and
No.
yeah, exactly, and I always feel like if people like, companies should tell you the restringing, like, they should have a diagram, how to restring it,
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
should.
literally the lengths that you need to be cutting it to, like, not guessing or trying to use your previous elastic and, holding it and, like, "Oh, let me cut it th" no, like, tell me what size needs to be. So, yeah, I'm just like, "Or does it not belong here, or does it should be further down the body?" I'm like, "Ugh, it's horrible."
I know.
Horrible. So, you guys who love restringing, hats off to you because I hate it.
Yeah, I tried to restring like a centaur doll and just like that was like give me headache for a whole week because I'm like I do not understand this. It was a Dodgetal old centaur body, the one with the human feet for some reason.
That is really weird. Human feet?
I
I don't even
know.
remember. That's horrible. Like,
I know.
it's horrible.
I
It's like
got
some weird uncanny valley right there.
Yeah,
oh
like,
yeah.
why? Oh
I
my god,
got
that's
it. I was
awful.
like, what do I what do I do with this? I sold it. I couldn't restring it. I just sold it. I'm like, all right, I give up on this. It was really
W
hard. It doesn't make
I
sense.
I'm very confused by this. Like, were the front feet human or were all the feet human?
All the
All
feet.
the feet, I think.
All the feet, yeah.
Really? What? That's not a centaur. That's like an abomination.
God, I know.
Human centipede.
Yeah, or something. Like, what in the world? Like, oh,
Too
that's
too
so
human
weird.
for a centaur.
I'm shocked. Like, let me see if I can
Yeah,
find a photo.
I'm
I'm gonna
surprised
have
you
to.
haven't seen that. If you look up like Dolcetto Ada, ADA, it's like a
Oh,
small
okay.
version of it, but they also have like the bigger version where it's just human feet, and I
Oh.
was scared. I was like, what's happening? Oh, if you see a share
Oh
your
my
screen,
god.
because I feel people should
Yeah, let
know about
me.
this.
Oh, what in the world? This is. I'm just like, like I'm frustrated. I'm like, okay, let me share my screen. But like, what in the world?
People should know about this.
Me, I know.
I should have
So Ada
saw
is
that
like the
one.
small one. Was that like the companion pet or
Yeah,
something?
it was like a pet doll, and they have the big version of it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember the sculpt.
Okay, so this is Ada with the 4 human feet. Is it Alberta? Is that what it was?
Alberta, yes.
I don't want to criticize anybody's photo here because that's actually a very gorgeous paint job and I really like that, but I am very uncomfortable by human feet on a centaur body.
Yeah, I think
It's a really weird combo.
Grace has the hooves, but Alberta has the
Okay.
human feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I did not know that. That's so interesting. Let's find a legacy photo.
I just want to scare someone.
Oh, wow. I had no idea
Yeah.
because I've seen people want her. People looking for Alberta, but I'm shocked. Like, what? This
Yeah.
is what?
Yeah, I used to get that doll when secondhand. I used to have Alberta secondhand. I can't do
They're
it.
killing me here. Yeah, let me see if I can find an old listing. I don't know if they took them all down.
I think they did. I don't think Dolce would like keep anything that they discontinue.
They did. They used to retire them out, but I think they redid their website because this does not look like their old
Oh
website.
yeah, definitely not.
Um, yeah, they redid their website. This is new. Because they had like a section of like retired sculpts, but I think they just took it all down. Wow, that's different.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this one,
Maybe check that one.
say to 16. This one might have hooves though. Yeah,
Oh
this one.
yeah,
Okay, this is what I expect when I think centaur. You know, something
yeah.
like that.
That's what I thought too. But their first centaur line was human feet.
Yeah, I think
That's
there was
so
a photo
weird.
here, like over here. I think is that Alberta?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
over
Alberta.
here. This is yeah. It's not the best photo, but you guys can fill in the blanks.
Human
That's
feet. You can
crazy.
buy double shoes for them.
Oh
Wow.
man.
2 pairs.
I guess so, yeah, but like, man, that's an extra expense. 2 pairs of shoes, whereas you can
Oh
just
yeah.
be like Nova and have parts like hooves that you don't have to buy
Yeah, you don't have to
shoes.
shoe the paws.
That's crazy. I'm like shook. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
like
like,
a
what in the
small
world?
details you don't really acknowledge until someone pointed out. You're just kind of like, what?
Yeah, I would have said that I'm kind of like a Doll Chateau stan for like a while, and this is like, wow. I was like, what? What? Yeah, and over here, this is Uncanny Valley for sure.
That's just so strange.
It is a strange doll for sure to begin with. So
Alberta was weird, to say the least. I like her though. I did like her before, but it's just the whole stringing thing just put me off. I
mhm,
can't because she
that's
came
fair.
really floppy, so I have to restring her.
Okay, so I like her body too because I mean, minus the feet,
Hmm.
because it's literally the K01 body here,
Yeah,
but they just ended up making it like a centaur piece. But I wish it was like Fairyland where it was a lot more interchangeable too.
yeah.
Like you could swap out the torsos and like the bottoms, and we're putting a piece there, and then they're human. Whereas like with Dora right now, we'll see how I feel about her because I wasn't in love with her when I got her, but I'm hoping that my face up artist can make me fall in love with her. But I wanted her on a human body. I still don't know how I feel about centaurs. I'm like confused.
Yeah,
I'm
no, that's fair.
confused how
That's
I feel
fair.
about centaurs. So, okay, wow, that was a total tangent, but I was like, I'm shocked. I was like, what? Like, what in the world? It's crazy, crazy.
Oh, I
Okay, yeah, let me
know.
close out of that. I'm like, okay, enough of human feet centaurs. Um, so, are you an interactive collector or are you a keeper of the shelves when it comes to your dolls?
What do you mean by that? Like,
Yeah, so Paonia drop on our Discord server, like she to me is like the museum collector, the type who
oh,
handles everything with gloves. And this is we were talking one night. I think it was her and Cappy and me, and we were talking about it. And like she said that Cappy was like the like antithesis to her collecting. But Cappy is just like stains, whatever. She plays with her dolls. She gets down and dirty with them. And Paonia Drop, on the other hand, she's somebody who wears her gloves. She packages everything. All of her dolls don't go in cabinets or anything. She puts them back in the boxes after she's done, playing with her dolls. But she might have a doll out for like a day or two, but then she'll repack everything and put it back in the box. And then she'll take out another doll, like if she wants to play with one. And then, for her, the process of taking the doll out of its package, removing the bubble wrap, which she rewraps everything in bubble wrap too. I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, this is
Yeah.
like next level. Like, so she would be probably somebody who's like a museum collector, right? Um, and you have people like me who do keep dolls on shelves, but I do take them out and I rotate out who I play with to touch them. Touch, not some, and I'm okay with like bare hands. Like my hands are clean, so I have no problem with that. Um, but some other collectors, they only will touch their dolls if they have like white gloves on. I'm trying to think of other examples. Yeah, some people who like only like to buy full sets, and again, I'm not to like call out or anything. It's just Payona Drop was part of the conversation that inspired this episode. She said that she only buys full sets. Like for her, she's tried to buy like some other some other clothes, but she doesn't know like how to I guess style them as well as the full sets. So I think having a full set is kind of like calming that there's a process. This is what goes on here. This is what goes on there. And you put on the horns or whatever, and then you admire and you play. So for her, that's her play process. And I don't want to misspeak. So if I paraphrase some of that incorrectly, please forgive me and feel free to clarify below. But hopefully I did get that right. It was like a 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Discord chat for me, so things might be a little bit blurry, but she was playing. It just blew my mind because I was like, wow. I was like, that is definitely a way that I do not play with my dolls. So that's kind of, does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah, like that's how I thought everyone collect them. Everyone like play with their dolls. When I first started the hobby, I was like, wow, like so a lot of people recommend like using white gloves while handling them, and I'm like, I followed it for a few months, and then I just kind of like I got tired of switching out gloves and stuff because I wash my hands a lot, kind of obsessive, but yeah, I wash my hands a lot, so I know it's clean. So I just kind of play with them with my bare hand, and I don't let other people touch them unless they wash their hands first. And you can already see like my dolls are just sitting around the room. I don't put them in my closet all the time because they start to stink up the resin smell. But yeah,
Yeah, so you surround it so you can just breathe it. I'm just kidding.
see the stack.
But what about you, Nova?
I have like one shelf that they all live on, but they don't stay there. I definitely take them off a lot and move them around and mess with them, and I'm not afraid to mess up a face up or something because I can just redo it if I needed to.
That's one of my fear. Like I don't want to mess up their face.
In the case that I have factory face ups, I'm extra careful, but with the ones I've done, I feel like I can handle those a lot more.
Yeah, that's fair. If you can like make it, then why bother worrying too much about it, right?
But I do like to handle them. Like usually when I get a new doll, I'll sit there and check out how it can pose and what it can do and stuff.
Are you a glove lady?
No, I am not.
We're in the house of hand washing and then touch. For sure.
Yeah.
I think it depends because like I have some photos on my Instagram where I was wearing white gloves, but part of it was that the artist had blushed part of like the ears and I didn't want my hand oils to get on it. So when I was putting in the eyes and I was like playing and it was my dim gloss when I was trying to like, make sure that certain eyes looked better or trying them on, finding a good pair that she can live in for a while, I was wearing gloves. I don't want because I felt like my hands were possibly going to get sweaty while I kept interchanging out, the eyes and everything. So when things like ears are a little bit more blush, then I will definitely put on gloves just because oils do break down sealants and all that. But and also I don't paint my own dolls, so I get a little bit nervous because like Amari, I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And you try to repair them, but you're like inside, I know it's chipped.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
not the same.
She had
You
a chip
just
lip here, and I fixed it, but I'm like, I know it's there. I'm like,
I know. Like my most used or like most play with dolls. Hang on. Let me just show her to you. It's like my everything's falling down. All right, it's the
yeah,
skirt,
you're too much a girl.
and like you can't really see it right now, but if you look closely, you can see like she has dirt and stuff like under her chin, like chipping. You don't it doesn't show on photos, but I know it's there, and it bothers me so much.
She just needs to get a new spa again. But I think
Yeah.
that's kind of cool too because I mean, over time, like things, if you do handle them, they're just gonna show some wear
Yeah.
and tear. And paint jobs are not permanent. So I feel like it's cool because that means you actually do play with your doll. If she's like your favorite doll, you
Mhm.
really like her. And not to say that if you leave them on shelves, they're not your favorite dolls, but I think like dirt and all that stuff is not necessarily a bad thing. It just shows that, you really love your doll
Yeah.
and you want to touch your doll and play with them.
I feel like it's kind of endearing. I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting a lot because like I can't.
I certainly think my dolls get a little dirtier if I don't handle them because then that like fine layer of dust starts to appear on them after like a month or two.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Definitely. And I'm trying to think because like with my dolls, like I like touching them. So I also collect some Barbies, and in the Barbie community, a lot of people like never remove from box. So they have dolls, but they just leave them in the box, or they just display them out. Or like if it's like a silk stone doll, they I guess it's mixed. Some people don't like it when you pull off the tags, but then you can't see the doll because like it's a tag that has ribbon on it that keeps it closed. So when you pull
Oh,
out the ribbon, you can open the tissue paper. But I don't think that's a bad thing because I don't think it is. But I'm not one of those hardcore NRFB collectors. That's what kills me about a lot of the dolls I buy, like Blythe, that are stock dolls, because I feel like I can't take them out of the box without like losing a ton of value. Whereas
yeah,
with like BJDs, like I can take them out the box and I can play with them. And while they might lose some value, it's not like I lose like like 60% of the doll price value just because I touched it or took it out of its box.
yeah. Definitely,
So
that's like one. I guess that's like one of the main reason why I'm not that into like collecting fashion dolls because the
mhm.
moment you take them out of the box, it's just like, oh, 60% of the value is gone now. But
That was
okay,
me the other day
what's
worrying
the
about
point
like the
then?
action figures I collect. I'm like, man, I want to open it, but if I do, is it
Yeah,
worthless?
right.
Yeah, it's like stressful and you're like, I don't know, because like, yeah, it's stressful because then after it's removed out of the box, I see people don't want to pay as much for it, which I get too. But I'm like, is it really worth less because it's out of the box? And people are like, yeah, it
Yeah.
totally is. That's like an obvious question.
Yeah, like the
But
name droid stuff is the same too, but like imagine
really,
if you don't take them out of the box, how are you gonna get this? It's Geralt in a bear suit. What's better
oh,
than
it's so
this?
goofy.
That's adorable.
Exactly. So I feel like I don't know, like, and of course, like I would never view dolls as an investment. I know that came
Mhm.
up in addicts recently that someone's like, "Oh, it's a bad investment," but I'm like, I'm not investing. If I was investing, I'd put it into like my 401k or like the stock market, right? Like these dolls
Buy
are
some
for enjoyment,
Bitcoin.
right? Or like cryptocurrency or whatever. But like definitely don't, because that was one of the biggest arguments back then, that if you were buying a doll, it was like an investment because it would hold value. And back then, it actually was the case. Like you could have a doll and it would be worth the same, if not more, when you sold it. Because I remember on Den of Angels, if you had a doll, I would list the doll. I would sell the doll literally almost within like 2, 3 hours tops. Like
Ooh.
back in the day, it was like, and I could get back my money and sometimes even more, depending on if it was like a limited doll or a full set doll, because there weren't that many companies. But like nowadays, like I'm shocked if I can sell something in like the first week.
Yeah,
And
that's
Yeah.
actually crazy.
yeah, so it's changed, and that was one of the things that people use was that, hey, if you buy a doll, it's a good investment because it retains its value, if not more. But like that's not the case anymore because the market conditions have changed quite a bit. So like dolls definitely aren't an investment, but I would still like my hobbies to not completely be devalued to like $0 just
Yeah,
because I've had it for like a little bit, right?
I agree.
Yeah, and I love fashion dolls, but I'm I have like my vintage Barbies. I'll just show you because I was working on making an outfit for her. My friend Carrie and I did a trade, but I made her this outfit. So she is a vintage Barbie and she's been played with. And I have like a Barbie fashion pack, sunglasses on her, but she has a little wig too. Little
Oh,
wig.
that's
That's
cute.
cute.
I didn't know they have wigs.
Yeah, this is the fashion queen. She had like three different wigs that came with her. So Carrie, my friend who I traded with, she included the brown one, and then there's also a bubble cut. I think there's a blonde one, but she didn't have it, so that's
Yeah,
that's fine. People lose things, right? So, but yeah, so she's like a vintage Barbie, and she's in pretty good condition, but she's not like the ridiculously crazy expensive ones. But I like they're like really sturdy, like hard plastic, and they're
yeah,
fun. I love them, and I love how I can touch them. Because if it was in a box, I would be like, box, let me touch the box, stroke the box. But
The
this, I'm like,
box would have
oh,
like a
I
pet
can
mark.
touch a Barbie. So that's how I found out VJDs is like I can touch, 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 and it's okay. No one's gonna yell at me. No one's gonna
yeah.
be upset at me. And I've seen action figure collectors who like they're like, I take my toys out of my box and I play with them. And then one of them is like, I don't care if you get anatomy. He's like, toys are meant to be played with. But I'm like, I can't imagine getting hate for that, taking your toys
Yeah,
out of the
like
box.
why would you hate on someone like for that? Like
Value. There's only X amount of this. You took it out of its box. You damaged whatever value it had.
I never understand that. It's too
Yeah, I think
weird.
I'm more of a collector versus like someone who sees it as an investment. So I don't mind like handling the stuff,
I
play with the
Yeah.
stuff.
feel like it's more personal that way. Like for me, anyways, it's more personal if I like handling them with my bare hands, clean, obviously, but still.
Mhm. Yeah, I think touching also like helps with like the bonding because I feel like every time I play with my dolls or touch them or do something for them because I made her outfit and her hair, um, I'm like I feel good about it. I'm like, hey, this is fun. This is a great hobby. I love it. And when you don't touch or you don't play, I feel like I'm far removed, a little bit distant from it.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me. But obviously, like other people have different way of handling the dolls. I do see some. I follow this one person who like has her doll in like a museum for display and something like that. I'm like impressed. I want to know how she handle her dolls. Like, is it with gloves or is she just kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna handle you by hands? I kind of want to know.
If it's like a museum, probably with gloves.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking too. Like maybe she just handle them with gloves very carefully. Kind of want to know. I want to try messaging her later.
Yeah, ask her. I'm curious.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're almost done. So, last but not least, I love this question, how Nova phrased it. Do you have a cohesive collection or a gleeful band of misfits?
Do I have a cohesive collection?
I think for the most part, mine are kind of cohesive. Maybe, I mean, they're all kind of like cat people or
There's a
animal
trend
people.
there. Um,
What about you, Avari?
I don't think I have a cohesive of sort like collection. Like they are kind of uniform because I do send a lot of them to my go-to face-up artists, so they all have like the same look into the same feel into their face-up. Uh, but yeah, they kind of just everywhere. Yeah, they.
Yeah. I think me, there is not much cohesion. It's more like I buy what I like, so together they all look awful. They don't look great if you put them all in one photo together. They just look weird. So mine is definitely firmly in the camp of a gleeful band of misfits.
I don't know, like there's a certain freedom in just buying what you want.
Definitely. And I know like sometimes like when I told myself no more SD dolls, like I sometimes want to break that rule. I want like a Supia doll. I want to buy XYZ, but I guess that's a good thing too because I also don't have space for the bigger dolls. But
I've been so tempted to break the no SD rule.
oh, who are you thinking about getting?
Well, I'm slowly getting the Miracle doll from Avari, but also I was very tempted by Fairyland's Bunny Girl because
Oh
of the
yeah,
feet. I was so tempted by that. I resisted, but I really almost got that.
you just
Oh,
know
that's
those
hard.
feet are gonna be expensive later on.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like, man, maybe I should still get them.
It's hard because like yeah, because like I know that you're gonna get the Maui from Avari, but I felt like what if you're like, hey, this is not working as I thought it would, and you're like, okay, well, let me get another SD doll or something, right? It's just like a slippery slope.
Yeah, you just go right down the rabbit hole and
I'm like, no, resist the temptation.
yeah. I was tempted by another SD doll recently, but I can't really remember.
So you weren't that tempted.
Yeah, so I wasn't that tempted. I was just kind of
It was
like,
lust. You were lusting after a doll.
yeah, more or less, yeah. Like if I don't remember you within like a week, I'm never gonna like you that much. So that's how I decide whether or not to buy a doll. Pro tip.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I know we were talking about at least like some stimulus money, which I know you don't get because you're in Canada, Vari. But Nova, were you going to buy anything with any of your stimulus money, or are you just like have to be an adult with it?
I caught up on some layaways.
Okay, good.
I have the ring doll boy paid off now, so he's
Oh,
gonna come
nice.
soon. And so I pretty much just caught up on layaways and tried to resist buying anything else.
Oh, you know who I'm tempted with right now? Show doll.
Oh, the Nico.
Not Nico, but like the new one. They're like anime looking one. I'm really tempted with those because like I don't know, it's just so cute. I usually
Little
don't
doll
collect
made a fox
anime
boy
doll.
too to the creepy cat, and I was tempted by him.
I know. Too
He's
much
cool.
temptation. Just
Yeah, it's definitely tricky. I'm trying to see which of the Shosho doll.
oh,
I don't.
let me see if I can. Shit, she's like in the way, and I don't want to knock her over. So
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
like,
don't knock her over.
show, show, doll.
I'll let you find that because for me, I had to be an adult with my money, and it's
Same.
depressing. So, but on the plus side is that I should get some tax refund money because I finally filed my taxes last week. I couldn't squeeze any more out of my itemized deduction. So for me, like I've been talking about this doll for a while, and let me get to Charm Doll's website because somehow it's not finding anything. But Charm Doll has like a witch, a little winky witch doll named Cersei.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
and I
yeah.
love her. Like I think she's so cute, and because of Addicts, someone was selling her. I was like, oh, I really, really am interested in her. I was like, she's really cute. Like it's kind of like a random. I stumbled across it, and I
Still
want
for
her.
sale?
What was that?
Is she still for sale?
No, no, I think she sold, like, because there's not many of them
No, I mean,
around, and
is the doll like limited? I
oh, yeah,
guess would
yeah,
be the
no,
question.
um, yeah, it's limited by, I think, numbers, but it's still available.
Oh, cool.
60 sets, yeah. So, this is her, and I thought she's so cute.
She's cute. Holy shit.
Yeah, and I love like so I'm not really big on full sets, as I mentioned, although I did buy a full set doll. I should be transparent about that. But I got the Mio doll Delia set, the nun outfit, and I thought that was really
Oh yeah.
beautiful. So like so that did speak to me. That I thought like that was a very pretty full set outfit. Whereas I'm like, I'm so salty over my Dolly's being set. I'm like that trash set. I am seriously salty about it. It's just like, oh. Anyway, I'll move on. I'll get over it one day. I'll
Okay.
get over it. But I like her full set too. I think it's really cute.
Ow.
And
Yeah,
she has
like
like
her full says adorable. Look at that dress.
Gives me
yeah, it
mad
has
Harry Potter vibes.
a little bit.
Very
She like
right.
yeah, I guess it gives like some Hermione vibes as well. But I like the dress is nicely made. You can tell that they put Pentax here, and that's usually like it takes a lot longer to sew Pentax than just making something without it. So they put a lot of nice details into it. Like I think the hat's cute, the little horns that they sewed on. Um,
Yeah,
and
the
I
full
love the
set.
little magical stick that she has.
Her full set looks really
Good,
impeccable.
right?
Yeah.
You guys are tempting me with her. I'm like, no, don't look. She's too
Wait,
cute.
how much is it to add the
So
full set on?
so it's $580 from
Mhm.
Alice, and
Oh,
excuse me. Yeah, so 580 from Alice. I think Christina offers it for like 500. Oh wait. When she has it on sale, it's like she has the price and then it has a sale price, but it's about the same price. Um, but of course you get free shipping and you don't have to pay PayPal fees when you buy from Christina. So I think it's about like 570 with her coupon. It's not bad. And if you buy from the Taobao store, or you can use Superbuy. I think it's like so the full set. Okay, so this is where it gets weird. The full set for Charm Doll does not include the face up. That's
oh,
so the $580 price does not include the face up. Face up is extra.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if they included it in this one,
But
but
it
it
comes with the
usually
outfit and the wig.
yeah, it comes with everything
Yeah.
but the face up. And
Wow.
Yeah.
and like so she has a magic stick, like a magical stick, her magical wand over here. And you can see it's painted, and that's part of the full set. The stick is painted, but her face is not. Like I'm like, what's going on here? That's fine. I would want
Soup.
somebody else to paint her. So
I'd
Yeah,
be
what they
tempted to just
doing?
paint her myself if I got her. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna fix this.
or like to try it, right? So
Yeah, a
yeah,
winking face would be a trick to paint though. It'd be hard.
I think so too. And I like her winky face because like I didn't Carter from By Doll Zone. I didn't really like so much because his face looked like it's frozen in like a weird wink. But I feel like her face looks a little bit more natural, like in
Yeah.
terms of winking, right? So yeah, But like, okay, so Nikki DX Girly, when I was talking about her, she said she actually ordered her. So I'm excited to see what she looks like
Oh
Oh,
wow.
with like a
nice.
non-company face up. Yeah. So hopefully she'll share it with us on her Discord. I'm sure she'll share it on Instagram once the doll arrives. She said the wait has been kind of long because she did a layaway with Divas. So that took a little bit longer, but she said it's almost going to be a year. A
Oh,
year in
wow.
like April. Yeah, it's been long, which I'm not sure what happened there. So I
That's
really
kind.
don't know.
I think that's like
Yeah.
longer than Dodge at all at this time.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Lena, Kosomolsky Dolls had mentioned that she got a charm doll body and she got it in like 3 months. So
Oh,
I'm not sure what's going on there.
maybe it's
I
a
don't know if
full
it's the
set.
vendor. Yeah, but yeah, and it's just the body too. So I don't. But Nikki doesn't ever really buy full sets. She tends to buy a la carte. So
I
I'm
wonder
not.
if she got this one as a full set or not.
Yeah, I guess we'll ask her later. But she said that she got Cersei. I was really surprised because I didn't think that this would be a doll that she would buy, but she totally did, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, I can't
Well,
wait
I
to see.
think she has that one smiling girl too. I forgot the company it's from, but there's like
Ooh, Dolly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the smiling
I've
girl.
been eyeing her for years.
Really?
I'm like, yeah,
Let's show people.
there's like so much potential of that doll that I can
Really?
just sew me. Wait,
I
no, not
seen
sew me.
someone paint her as if she was crying, and that was actually really cool.
Right? She has so much potential to be creepy. I love it.
Okay, this is not
Yeah, no,
her.
sew me is the more basic ones.
Yeah, she's like, let me see what her name is.
Oh,
This
Oh, there
one,
she
Resinate
is.
Miso.
Miso. I feel like she kind of gets into uncanny valley though,
Yeah,
a
she
little
really
bit, right?
does.
Like a little bit too happy or something.
Especially compared to like the other dolls, like the sew me one that we just saw. This one looks way too realistic.
Creepy. I don't think it. I think it looks. The teeth are way too white. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just this one's creepy. Like I don't think it really looks like a human. I just think it looks like a in
Right?
between human doll. You know?
Right? I I love
Yeah.
her. I just want the head though. I must stick her on like some weird body and be like, this is it.
The lighting looks a little bit better here, but still a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. It's something about their promo photo that scare me.
She looks
For
too
sure.
happy.
Why are you so happy?
So yeah, I like the body looks nice though.
Oh yeah, Dolly's
The
body
joints
looks
here.
really nice. I haven't pulled the trigger. I don't know why. I keep looking.
I think it's I think it's the in between. Like you're like, well, I really like her when she gets here. It's I get it. I feel like this would be a tough purchase for me because I'm not in love with her, but like you could see potential, right? Like you
right.
can see
Yeah.
what you could do, but like would it live up to that expectation?
I feel like it's just like the company's face up is a little weird to me.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I've been mulling over her for like 2 years now, and I still don't know what if I want her or not. I don't know if they sell just the head.
I think they
Maybe there's
do.
more.
I think they do. Let me see. We'll find out. Oh no, these sites are just. I'm like, I always like it when they call it. They're like, they have like a cutesy name for like their MSD size dolls,
Yeah.
SD, and I'm like, I don't know what any of that is. What is like cappuccino or whatever, or like they're like latte size, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
It's the grande and venti.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Every time, because I don't ever really go to Starbucks. I usually make my own coffee at home. Every time I go, I always have to ask like JP. I'm like, what is a grande? And what's a venti? Like, what's small, medium? And I'm like, can I get a medium coffee, please?
Yeah, I just tell them medium, please.
Yeah, medium. I'm like, and I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it, but I just can't remember because grande to me is large. Like that's what it means
Oh,
in
really?
Spanish, large.
Oh,
No, like grande. This is big. It's big. It's a large, right? So like for me, but I'm like, I don't think that's a large. I think that's the smallest size.
that's a medium size.
I was it. I can't.
Yeah, I
What's
think
the
it's a
smallest one?
medium size.
What's the smallest one called?
No idea. I think it's a tall. For some reason, they call it tall.
You see, yeah, I'm like, what does any of that mean? Oh, it's so
Right?
frustrating. I'm seeing if they have heads, but I don't see. And why is this bar? Oh, this site's horrible. These are cute though. I like these. These are kind of cute.
Man, this is hard to navigate.
Yeah, I hate this. Oh, I like this one. This one's cute. Ooh, a little grumpy.
I like the lips. That looks nice.
Yeah. I got maybe they might sell it separately. I don't know.
I'll
Basic.
look for
Why is this
it.
hard? I'm like, why is it so hard? Okay. But they sell saddle dolls, so they also sell. Okay, is this
Oh,
not? Is this like
it's
not a legit site? No, it is. Oh no, it is. It's KoreaDolls.naver. Okay, Naver is a Korea website.
I think it's just like I don't know.
It might be like a Alice or something.
Yeah, maybe like an agency. Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're dealers.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's go to the Dollets website and we see if we can order that separately. Okay, well, I thought that's where we were. No, I guess I clicked on the wrong. No, I clicked via image. So let's go here. The dolls are cute. They
I
have
know
cute dolls.
she's adorable.
Okay, so see this. I'm like, what does this mean? Okay, let me hover. Like DYD. Like, how do I know what's mini? I'm like, okay, 65, 60. Okay, this is a little bit more helpful. But like when they don't have that, I'm like, what does any of that mean? Maybe it should be parts. Let's check.
So cute. Who's that USD
Good.
doll?
Wait.
Wait.
Okay, is she not?
Wait,
43
Somi is here, so maybe she. There's no way she's discontinued.
I don't think she would be. Parts? Maybe head?
Oh yeah. No way.
I'm wondering if they do like something like Blue Fairy where they only offer a certain amount of dolls.
Oh, maybe. Blue Fairy does that?
You can only order certain dolls during the first week and they do a rotation.
Oh, okay, I see. I don't think they do that.
Yeah.
Like, but I have never seen her on separate page.
Okay, then you might think of the full body, but the body does look nice.
Right.
Like over here. It does look really nice. I like how the knees look too. I don't know. Maybe see she's here.
They just like, yeah, but we're not selling her to you.
Yeah, I guess if you want, you can ask a question.
Maybe it's one of those websites or store that you have to actually write them to know if it's in store.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know what's going on here.
Flip my hair.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. Is there anything else we want to cover today? I know we just went on a tangent for little dollies.
I want to show the show doll.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me X out. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on Christina website because that's where I would probably buy her from. She was. This is the body only. Yeah, like they have the rabbit version and the cat version. I don't know which one I like more. I think I like the cats more.
Oh, they look really cute.
I know. She's actually so cute. It's so squishy. I think
He's going down. Her site's weird. It's
my
not
God,
ideal.
yeah, I know. Okay, here. Like, look how cute that face is.
Yeah, it's very adorable. How much is she?
She is 365, and Christina say that she comes with two mouthpiece.
Okay.
Yeah,
What size is she?
She's she's 40 centimeters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's come with this mouthpiece and this one. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth. The only thing putting me off is how her ears look like this, like permanently. I don't
It's kind
know
of cute
why.
though. It's kind of like one's up and one's down. I think it's
Yeah.
cute.
I think it's cute too, but like kind of like
It's
why
like
though?
broken ear or something.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm
Or
thinking
you
of
like the
buying this one
option.
on the normal
What was the
one.
other one?
The other one is the rabbit. Let me go back. Rabbit. She's cheaper. I don't know why. I don't know what's the difference. But yeah, that's her rabbit ears.
Ears are pretty
Yours is
cute.
I know, I like the loppy ears. I'm so torn between them.
Oh, she has little rabbit feet.
Yeah, she does. The other one also have like an animal body, but it's just the same thing. The tail's the same, body's the same. Different. The only difference is the head and ears. But yeah, I don't know. They're both so cute. I don't know who I want.
I like the other one, I think, more.
Yeah, Coco has a little bit more personality to me.
I think so. I think she looks a little bit more like distinct.
Expressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Icky.
And I feel like the other one is cute, but like I feel like there's a lot of similar looking dolls.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Like all the MDDs out there.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, let me
Cool.
end this tree.
So yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see. I do want her, but I might see if like DX Girly, how it looks when she, because like she doesn't get them with like face ups and she pays himself. I just want to see what it looks like not stock, like a default.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'll see. But I also don't really want to wait so long, so I might actually just go ahead and place the order if my refund is here. But I do have I still need to pay off my skeleton girl. I have like one more payment left on
Yeah.
her and my Delia. So, but like, there's not a huge rush because it takes time for the order to get made. So I'm just like I'm looking for other dolls, and I'm like, do I need to be doing that? I need another doll. Like I need a hole in my head. I think once they all arrive, then I'm like, it's time to purge. So
I
until
know.
then,
Every
until
time
then,
I
I'm
I'm
like,
almost
see new
there.
doll.
yeah, definitely. So that's pretty much the episode. Episode 14. Just chill, laid
It's
back.
actually a lot longer than we intended to be.
Yeah, it always happens because I think once we start
Yeah.
talking, we're like, oh, let's see where we go. And I like how it just kind of flows naturally. But so yeah, we talked about various collector types that are out there, what we like. We had guest stars with Nova's cats. Then trying to think what else. Looked at what we would be getting in the future. So that's pretty much it for episode 14. So if you have any other comments, you want to hang out with us and some other awesome, cool Discord people, join our Discord. I beat Avari to the punch, although she did say it early on in the beginning, so she did say it. Do you have anything else to add, Nova? Nope. Okay, cool. And before we go off, we'll say happy birthday to Nova again. Her birthday's
Oh yeah.
yesterday, but and we will see you guys next time. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Oh, here's Kitty Bomb for you.
Oh, awesome. I'll edit that in.
Super bar.